In this video, I'll compare the DJI Spark to the newly released DJI Mini 2, and if it's worth hanging on to the Spark or buying the new Mini 2. Don't go away. Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel, where we review tech related to making YouTube videos, including drone comparisons just like this one. So be sure to hit the red subscribe button below. Now, some of us hang on to our gear for a while, for a variety of reasons. So while everyone on YouTube is going nuts about whether or not to upgrade from the Mavic Mini to the Mini 2, some of us still have a Spark. If you're wondering whether it's time to upgrade, you're most likely not wanting to spend heaps of money, and you most likely want to buy something to do what you currently do with the drone, but get better results, right? If that's the case, you're most likely looking to go from a DJI Spark to a Mini 2. So let's compare the main features and then make a decision. First, picture quality. If you use a Spark, you're most likely a casual or occasional user. You probably don't use it for commercial or professional purposes, but that doesn't mean you don't want a better image, right? And I can speak from personal experience when I say that sometimes you get the footage back onto the computer and you go, wow, great angle, great shot, just wish it was a bit crispier. Well, if you go from the Spark to the new Mini 2, you'll get a massive leap in that department. The Spark shoots at 1080p, whereas the Mini shoots up to 4K 30p. Now, Matty Hipoya in his video calls it the first cinematic beginner's drone. I'll put a link to his video in the description below. So image quality is a biggie. One of the things that make it better is the bitrate at which the footage is recorded, 100 megabits per second versus 24 megabits per second on the Spark. Next, and this is a biggie, and that's that the transmission system has gone from Wi-Fi on the Spark to OcuSync on the Mini 2. OcuSync is super stable and rock solid, whereas Wi-Fi transmission can be patchy and you can suffer from signal dropouts, but not so with OcuSync. Now this is a huge feature, and only before seen in DJI's upper end and more expensive drones. Now I've usually had no major problems with the Wi-Fi system, but it is susceptible to the signal dropping out, and my friend's DJI Spark even flew off by itself on a trip in China and we lost it completely. Link above and in the description below. Now, as a result of having OcuSync in the Mini 2, the range is now much larger than the Spark. The range on the Mini 2 is up to 10 kilometers. Now that is nuts, compared to a maximum range of 3 kilometers on the Spark. Now, I've never had my Spark more than about 500 meters or half a kilometer without experiencing issues. I've seen lots of videos where people have had theirs out much further than that, but anyway, up to 10 kilometers on the Mini 2 with a rock solid OcuSync transmission. Hey, just quickly, if you're getting value from this video, be sure to hit the like button below and the red subscribe button and the bell to make sure you don't miss out on future videos. I'd really appreciate it. Cheers, guys. Now, comparing the Spark to the Mini 2, the gimbal is also different. We go from a 2-axis gimbal on the Spark to a 3-axis gimbal on the Mini 2. Now, having said that, I think the results you get from the Spark are excellent, and I've had it in windy conditions that a drone that small should not really cope with, and only in extreme conditions have I seen any shake, and understandably so too. However, the 3-axis gimbal on the Mini 2 gives even more capability to cope with any potential movement to give you very, very stable footage. On the Mini 2, they've made the motor stronger to cope with very windy conditions, which is amazing for something this small. Now that's also had an impact on speed. The flat-out speed of the Mini 2 is 16 meters per second, versus the Spark, which is quoted at 31 miles per hour, which is about 13 or 14 meters per second. A modest improvement, but that's still super fast. You wouldn't want to get hit by one at that speed. In terms of battery life and how long you can fly the drone for, there's a big difference here too. Around 15 or 16 minutes flight time on the Spark to 31 minutes for the Mini 2, so pretty much double the flight time. Plus, if you buy the Mini 2 Fly More combo, you get 3 batteries as well as a charger. Speaking of battery life, check out this video where I launched my Spark from a kayak and then had issues landing it when the battery got too low. I'll also put a link in the description below. It seemed like a good idea at the time. In terms of the form factor of the drones, well, they're both pretty small. However, the Mini 2 has foldable legs, whereas the Spark doesn't, making it even more portable. Both are very small drones and easy to put in either a backpack or a small bag, or, if you prefer, even your pocket. It really is amazing how small they actually are, given the quality, stable video you can get out of them, compared to the drones over the last few years. So, should you upgrade from the Spark to the Mini 2? Absolutely, 100%. The Mini 2 just has too much going for it and the spec differences are quite large. Here's a summary, but in my mind the big ones are OcuSync versus Wi-Fi and 4K video versus 1080p. Now, don't get me wrong, I love my Spark, but maybe it's time to regift it and pass it on to my son for Christmas. Now, if you have the original DJI Mavic Mini and are thinking of buying the Mini 2, check out this video where I compare the main differences between the two drones. If you're looking at other ways to add cinematic footage to your videos, check out this video on the new DJI Pocket 2 camera, where I give you my top 5 reasons for buying it. There certainly are lots of options to spend your hard-earned cash at the moment. Thanks guys, and we'll see you in the next video.